Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, on the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time, we take a look at TNA's debut on Destination America this past Wednesday night. All kinds of big news as far as WWE changing its broadcast teams on both Raw and SmackDown, and all the latest wrestling news right here, right now on My 24 Milwaukee.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime TV, the longest-running pro wrestling news program in the world, with your hosts, David Hero and Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Saturday night. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius Tiberius, the alleged backyard one-time knockout, straight-edge, hardcore Hall of Famer hero.
Yes,
How are you, Dave?
I'm fantastic. How
Really?
are you?
I'm great. Are you still following your resolution of the new year?
Absolutely.
What was it again?
I will give it up for Lent, so it's only going to be short-lived.
Just for Lent, you're going to give it up? What was your resolution again? Hey, you know there's a pay-per-view coming back to St. Louis, I hear.
I think we should go back to St. Louis.
What was your resolution again? To see better?
Yes.
In the new year?
To see clearly.
The rain is indeed gone. Let's go to this week's WWE Report, folks. And wow, an active week in World Wrestling Entertainment. The Authority back in power on Raw on Monday night, and they fired 3 superstars, and they're going the long route with this, David Hero. They've been removed from WWE.com. They've been removed from live events. Dolph Ziggler, Ryback.
If you think about how great is that?
What do you
You're
mean?
still getting paid. You're not taking any bumps.
True.
You know? I hope and pray that they come back as the Machines.
The Machines.
Remember the Machines in the 80s?
I
Giant
don't go back
Machine,
there. They weren't on
Super
my list,
Machine,
remember?
Big Machine. Remember the masked Japanese wrestlers that were really Andre the Giant, Demolition,
Oh, yes,
Axe,
yes.
and Blackjack Mulligan?
Yes.
Bring them back under hoods.
Masks.
Whatever.
I'm sensitive to.
I'm sure you are. They're not going to be white, so it'll be fine. Well, it's white wrestlers.
The way Authority got back into power, John Cena had to make the decision to save Edge's neck from Seth Rollins a couple of weeks back on Raw.
Poor
Didn't quite
Edge.
think they would
Poor
take
Edge.
this route
Poor
to get
Edge,
there, but
right?
they are there.
Think about it. Poor Edge.
How so?
He's a multi-time world champion.
And a Hall of Famer,
champion,
you know.
Hall of Famer, tag team champion, U.S. champion. He's held every belt there is to be. And then he gets bullied. You know? Like, they're going to break his neck. He couldn't
Well,
fight
he's no
back.
longer an active competitor.
I understand that, but Edge, come on. You know, I could see doing with Pat Patterson, someone that's older, Jerry Briscoe, but not Edge.
The way, though, that Authority got back into power,
Here's
not
the problem I have
expected.
it, though. How does Edge get his heat back? How does Edge get his revenge?
Does he need it?
How does Edge come back the next time and not want to go after Seth Rollins?
Boy, it will. And perhaps there will be that payoff.
Well, there better be a payoff. There should be a payoff.
Fine, just don't get hot about
I'm hot about it.
Was it hokey? Was it cheesy? Was it believable?
It's been done before, and everything recycles in wrestling. They did it with Mick Foley and The Rock, with Shane McMahon. Remember, break his arm.
Shane O'Mac.
Yeah, so. But, you know, for everyone that's complaining about the Authority's back, they need the Authority back because there's no strong enough heels. The only ones that get a legitimate boo reaction, or as Al Snow would say, a boo pop, is Triple H and Stephanie.
Is that an ice cream product?
No, it's a boo pop.
Oh, Pom Pop.
Bomb pop, yeah. That's one of your deals.
It's red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
It's Americana. It's like the CM Punk ice cream bars.
Yeah, okay.
The Ascension has debuted, and on Raw and SmackDown, they defeated some local
Holy crap.
unknown talents.
That was terrible, wasn't
But
it?
they also had some words to say to the Ascension.
I mean, I've seen bigger guys in Angel Armani's training camp than the 2 guys they dusted off and brought out there. You know? And, you know, the Ascension, they're put in a really tough spot because they're designed like a Road Warrior demolition tag team. And for them to go out there and to not acknowledge the Road Warriors of Demolition is asinine.
What do you mean?
Well, if they go out, everyone's going to be chanting LOD. So let's get it
Really?
out of the way. Absolutely.
Is it the red?
No,
It's burgundy, actually.
because they come out with the face paint and the shoulder pads and whatnot. And yeah, they said that, hey, we're better than the Road Warriors, but they had to say that. Why not? You know, they weren't, I don't think they were intentionally being disrespectful to Hawk. Because I'm pretty sure Hawk would have done the same thing if the roles were reversed. What those two guys need to do is go out there and get legitimate heat. They want to be booed. They don't want to be cheered. And this way, the negative energy on them makes them a better tag team.
What's wrong with debuting them and having them destroy jobbers?
At least have the jobbers be over 4-5. I understand.
Size is always an issue.
It is an issue. Beating up little guys doesn't mean anything. You're better off tossing Hornswoggle out there. It was almost the same.
Talked about Dolph Ziggler a little bit
seriously,
earlier.
it was like watching the Ascension beating up Nacho Libre and his tag team partner. That's what it looked like.
Talked about Dolph Ziggler earlier, ladies and gentlemen. Well, he also lost the Intercontinental Championship to Wade Barrett this past Monday night on Raw. Ziggler, the chosen one, the prodigal, how do you say that?
Prodigal son?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yet now fired, no longer champion. Well, fired.
It's almost like the Human Torch being denied a home loan. It doesn't make any sense.
Actually, it does make sense to deny the Human Torch a home loan.
No, it doesn't.
Burn the place down.
He's a superhero. And Dolph Ziggler was built up as a superhero.
For a couple weeks, he was, yes.
And apparently, rumors have it because he booked that comedy tour and didn't tell the office. That's their way to punish him. Can't confirm it, can't deny it. One of the things that's out there. But Wade Barrett had to get his belt back. Wade Barrett cannot come back and just be...
Who's better with it?
Wade Barrett.
Really?
Absolutely. Dolph Ziggler doesn't need a title. The fans love him.
But if they are positioning the Intercontinental Championship as they seemingly were as the next step to the World Championship,
Yeah.
It feels as if Ziggler is more believable in that role.
No, because Ziggler would then have to face Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Who wants to see that?
Well, I mean, Seth Rollins is.
Have you ever seen what happens when a fly hits the windshield of a car? That's similar to what would happen with Ziggler. Not because Ziggler's not talented, but because Brock Lesnar won't give him anything.
Because it's not
best for business.
Or believable.
Well, that too.
So you don't like the Ascension?
No, I didn't.
Who do you like more, CM Punk or the Ascension?
Listen, I can respect
Barrett or Punk or the Ascension?
I love Wade Barrett. I've been a Barrett guy for a long time. I can appreciate what the Ascension is trying to do. They're trying to make a name for themselves. People talked about them all week. Oh my God, they disrespected the Road Warriors. How many times do people go out there and just cut promos on people?
Right.
He said, oh, what a rush. Well, big deal.
What'd you think of the ambulance match?
I've never understood that match.
Really?
Yes. Why should the goal of anything be to throw somebody into an ambulance?
Well, that's how you win the match.
But why? Who says, I got to...
They're presumably hurt and thus needing said ambulance and then being put in said ambulance.
I just think it's silly. Don't you?
You're too old school.
I am
You
old
gotta give it the times. Evolve, David Hero. Change with the times.
I'm trying.
I'll give you a few moments to do it while we take a timeout, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we're going to talk more about WWE, including the big in-ring return for Daniel Bryan, which happens this week, and those new announced teams on both Raw and SmackDown. Very interesting changes in the WWE voices. That when we come back here on the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night.
When you're diamond shopping, variety is important. At Robert Hack Diamonds, we'll show you multiple diamonds side by side underneath the microscope and show you what to look for when buying a diamond. GIA graduate gemologists are on staff for expert diamond grading. Robert Hack has affordable prices on all diamonds, including diamonds certified by the GIA. Need a mounting for your diamond? Our selection is huge. Buy your diamonds today at Robert Hack Diamonds or visit roberthackdiamonds.com.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero, and we're talking about World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE. WWE.
Yes.
And before we took a time out, we talked about Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is announced to be back in ring this Thursday when SmackDown moves to Thursdays. Now, Daniel Bryan came back a couple of weeks ago on Raw and made his big announcement, his career-altering, or how are they selling it? Career-defining decision or something like that. It was a gimmick, but either way, the news we got was great, which is Daniel Bryan is back and back in the ring and also in the Royal Rumble coming up in a couple of weeks.
He's back at the right time.
Is he? How so?
Royal Rumble starting up, then WrestleMania season.
Do we have a problem, though? Because I don't know if you caught the new Raw Open this past Monday night. Who did it end with?
I didn't pay attention.
Roman Reigns.
Well, okay. They went alphabetical order.
The favorite.
Reigns comes after.
Ziggler would have been last. The favorite for.
He's fired.
He's already fired.
Yeah.
The favorite for the Royal Rumble this year, Roman Reigns, no doubt. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You'll be at the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Do we have a problem if Daniel Bryan doesn't win the Royal Rumble?
Well, the same problem they had last year. They'll boo. Who cares? They'll get over it. I mean, you can't book the entire show for the audience.
So then who are you booking it for?
You book it for yourself sometimes. When I book my events, sometimes it's like, I want to entertain myself.
Did you answer Abyss yet? The challenge he has to get in the ring with, fire me or get in the ring with him?
And I think that is absolutely asinine.
It's twice in this show.
And it's been asinine. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to fight Abyss. You saw how big he is?
Well, you can't fire me, so guess what? You have no choice.
But why do you laugh?
I think it's great that finally you're getting yours. Finally, David Hero, the luckiest man in the world, gets his. Finally, it comes back on you.
I don't put myself in these situations.
But you're in this situation.
But you put yourself in this one and now dragged me into it.
No, I won.
Who hits the guy with glasses? It should never happen.
Brand new announced teams have been announced for both Raw and SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. And backing up from that, Jerry Lawler, a bit of a health scare this past weekend, was hospitalized. Presumably, that's the reason he was not available for Raw this past Monday night.
Diverticulitis.
Exactly. Same thing that Brock Lesnar suffered from, I believe. But he was replaced by Booker T this past Monday night. Well, we would find out later in the week that Booker T is now the permanent replacement for Jerry Lawler on Monday nights, joining Michael Cole and JBL as the new Raw broadcast team. Now, I've never been a huge fan of Booker T's commentary. I thought it was...
Who was he as in TNA? Something
Snow?
white. White Snow, yeah. I didn't get it. So.
Have you looked outside lately?
Yeah, I have. But, you know, Jerry Lawler can't be pleased about that.
Well, here's what you got to think about. When Jim Ross got pushed out, they did the same to him. Remember, he got moved to SmackDown, didn't tell him in the draft, and then shortly thereafter he was gone?
But Jerry likes having Tuesday through Sunday off.
He has one of the greatest deals in wrestling.
Absolutely.
Well, on Tuesdays, when SmackDown is taped, ladies and gentlemen, the broadcast team will be led by Michael Cole, joined by Jerry Lawler, and Byron Saxton is actually going to be taking the place of Todd Phillips on that team. I thought Todd was doing a good job. Tom, rather.
Yeah, he was fine. He was a quality...
Coming up through
caller.
NXT.
Yes.
Speaking of NXT moving to Wednesdays, by the way, when SmackDown moves to Thursdays this week. Lots of programming changes. We have a programming change to talk about later, by the way.
And then TNA now goes to Fridays.
After being live on Wednesday.
Yeah.
On Destination America.
Well, they had to. They don't want to go against SmackDown. They don't.
Are you at all excited about the Royal Rumble, David Hero, coming up in just 2 weeks' time?
Absolutely. Rumble's going to be great.
Always.
It's going to be fantastic. Always fantastic. It's the match we get to see the matchups you don't normally get to see.
Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and Seth Rollins.
I feel bad for Seth Rollins. I think he's going to be the guy that gets screwed in this match.
There's
Because
no doubt. Or is he the guy that walks out the champion?
No way. There's no way no. Lesnar and Cena both can't afford to lose right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Lesnar especially, because I think people are souring on his lack of participation inside the ring.
It doesn't matter. You know what? The UFC World Champion doesn't fight every month.
Well, UFC, that's true.
And they
do a pay-per-view every month.
Yeah, and now they call themselves Sports Entertainment also.
Do they?
Yes.
When did that happen? Dana White said that?
Last week to get around some nonsense in New York.
The Athletic Commission?
Yeah. So are they saying that UFC's fake? But that's for a different show?
It's a controlled situation with a premeditated outcome.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Where are we?
We are moving on into the TNA report.
No, we got to talk about GLCW first.
Oh, Great Lakes Championship Wrestling? You versus Abyss? When's it going to happen?
It is not going to happen.
I think your deadline's up.
No, it's not.
Abyss has been calling the office here about once a day.
Yeah, I know he does call often. I'm surprised he can find the buttons with his phone. But GLCW returns to Circle B on Saturday night.
That's in Cedarburg, right?
Yes, Cedarburg.
Highway 60?
Highway 60, January 31st, Saturday night with X-Pac, D-Generation X.
XPAC.
NWO, the XPAC.
Really?
Will be coming to Cedarburg. And Great Lakes Championship Wrestling. Go to blizzardbrawl.com for tickets. They just start at $10 and get them online. blizzardbrawl.com.
That is fantastic.
It is fantastic.
X-Pac always exciting to see.
You never know what's going to happen with X-Pac.
You really don't.
You don't. He makes it rain sometimes.
Let's go now, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's TNA Impact Wrestling Report. And TNA Impact Wrestling, as we said earlier, made their big debut on Destination America. That is a network in the Discovery family of channels. That was this past Wednesday. They were live, if you will. And a couple of big things happening. Brand new X Division champion crowned in Austin Aries. And a big return in Awesome Kong, which I was very excited to see.
It was, you know what? I liked everything about the show that they did. I didn't care for the lighting of the building.
It was dark. It was like someone's basement.
You couldn't see the first row. Mm-hmm. And for me, when I'm watching a match, I want to see how the crowd responds and how they react to everything.
And apparently they were using the in-house production team of the Manhattan Center versus their own production team, and that led to
Well, they don't have a production team.
They've used a particular company out of Tennessee. Bob?
Yeah.
And that led to some of the challenges that they had.
Who does that?
Who does what?
When you're going to re-debut on live television, how do you not have your own production?
Let me say this. Dixie Carter, who wasn't there, she had another commitment.
She was in Los Angeles with Mr. Anderson at the Critics' Choice Awards.
She was on Jim Ross's podcast last week, talking about, this week actually, I think it was, talking about the debut and talking about TNA and talking about the changes that they're making, how big a deal this is to be debuting on Destination America, how it's changing for the company, how it's going to be great. She even said, though, that you won't notice anything different on that first episode. I'll repeat that. You won't notice anything different on the first episode because it's live and we can do much more when it's taped. She said these things.
Ooh, so she's saying that the tape show is better than the live show.
She said it in those many words.
Well, that's her.
Overall, a good wrestling show, a good 2-hour wrestling show on Destination America.
What I liked about it is they focused on the talents that want to be there, the young, up-and-coming talents.
Well, you mean Jeremy Borash's Mohawk?
Poor JB. He looks like you now.
Poor Rockstar Spud. If he looks like me, he's a lucky man.
Well, not quite as mocha-ish, but yeah, he looks like you.
I don't even like coffee. Or chocolate.
Okay.
Bobby Roode versus Bobby Lashley, some shenanigans in that championship matchup.
It was. I was shocked. I mean, I wasn't surprised that MVP and Kenny King got involved because they're known for shenanigans. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't believe that Eric Young turns his back on his buddy. Of course, Samoa Joe got involved.
Yep.
So now it's Joe, Kenny King, MVP, and Eric Young.
Was Samoa Joe wearing a mask?
He was. I think it was a Ronald Reagan mask.
Saw some pictures.
Yeah. But you know what it kind of reminds me of?
What does it kind of remind you of?
When Owen Hart joined the Nation.
He's not a Nugget? Or is he dangerous?
No, I don't think EY is a Nugget.
Or is he a Blackheart?
No, he's not that either.
Is he a Blue Blazer?
He's Canadian.
Overall, your impression of TNA's live show?
I watched the whole show live. I tweeted the whole show live. I went in there with I took the blinders off. I wanted to watch the show for what it was, and I thought it was solid. I thought it was better than what I expected. Of course, certain guys were missed that weren't on there, but I'm sure they did a great job of reintroducing. So
really?
we'll see what happens in the next couple weeks.
Good. So you're providing praise to TNA.
I said they did a nice job. I will give them a pat on the back.
What show was better, Raw, SmackDown, or Impact?
I'm going to go with Raw just because of production. Nothing beats
it's easier to watch. Easier on the eyes, rather.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a valid point. How dare you, as a wrestling fan, not say it was because it was the greatest wrestling ever?
But I said it was because of production.
You did.
Because of the lighting, the sound, everything that makes it the event is important.
Speaking of events, ladies and gentlemen, over the course of the last several weeks, we presented to you with what we felt were our greatest ever wrestlers. Greatest of all time. Greatest ever in our lifetimes. Greatest ever in our wrestling experiences. Greatest ever from our brains to our mouths to this TV show to your ears. And one glaring omission has been pointed out, David Hero, that was not on our personal lists, that made it on some others' personal lists, and that would be your dear close personal friend, the Hitman, Bret Hart.
I'll be honest, I can't believe I forgot Bret Hart.
You forgot Bret Hart?
I completely forgot.
He's not on my list.
Well, you don't like him.
No, it's not we made
it's
up.
It's fine.
We're good.
But
talk regularly.
But I guess for me, I mean, as great as Bret Hart was, and he's had amazing matches with Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair and Kurt Hennig and the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith.
SummerSlam 90? No one will ever forget that match?
The way it ended, the way he went out, it just, poof, gone.
It's almost like, yeah, exactly. It's almost like he got Caspered.
Yeah.
He's just gone. When he went to WCW, W, it was just over. It really was. He failed to exist after that.
But don't get me wrong, Bret Hart, awesome.
Great athlete,
awesome
great
in-ring
wrestler.
performer.
Yep. And carried WWE for a time, did Bret Hart.
He did, he had to. Him and Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, one point about the greatest ever is we thoroughly appreciate the fact that you guys provided us with your lists.
Oh, I didn't really care for their lists.
Again, all of our lists are different. And while David admits that he did forget Bret Hart, who would you bump? Who would you bump from your list that you no longer have?
No. You know what? If I had to, I would take Booker T off from number 15.
He's a Hall of Famer.
And so is Bret Hart.
Oh.
And put Bret Hart in there.
All right, folks. Well, thank you very much for that feedback. And now it is time to go to Linda Kay in this week's Event Center. Linda, take it away.
Welcome to the PWR Event Center, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Complete your WrestleMania weekend with the official PWR endorsed weekend plan. It all starts Friday, March 29th, when PWR returns to WrestleCon, where you can meet all of the stars of pro wrestling and even be a part of a special PrimeTime TV special that will be taped at WrestleCon. Following WrestleCon on Friday night, join us at the Shenanigans VIP Club Party at the San Jose Bar and Grill, located next to the Convention Center, hosting NXT and Access. Appearing at the party will be Kevin Nash, Theo Rosita Trinidad, and Zima Ion will be the official DJ for the night. Admission includes a red carpet meet and greet with the stars and free food and drinks all night long. Then on Sunday, you can join the PWR team in a private VIP suite for WrestleMania at Levi Stadium for the 5th annual Sweet and Sexy. Tickets for all of these events are very limited and are available now at pwrshow.com. That's it for this week's Event Center, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. And now let's take it over to Cal Hero with this week's Diamond of the Ring.
Thank you, Linda. This week's Robert Hack Diamond of the Ring is the one and only Wade Barrett. Who do you trust when buying diamonds? Robert Hack Diamonds.
PWR Primetime will continue after this short timeout.
Follow us on Twitter for breaking news, live wrestling chat, and pure hilarity. Head over to twitter.com/PWR show and be part of the conversation.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, the insurance company may try to stop you from getting what's fair.
After my car wreck, the insurance company just wasn't helping me, so I said stop, and I called Gruber Law Offices.
Be careful. Call us right away.
They better be careful. Now I've got Gruber Law Offices.
Call us. Let us get started on your case right now.
They put the green light on my case and got me $65,000.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Call 276-6666.
Impact Wrestling debuted on Destination America on Wednesday night, and the company seemed to be heading in the right direction. They did a great job of reintroducing the current roster and making the titles mean something. Considering the last year or so, TNA has revolved heavily around Bully Ray. Wednesday night, you would not know that. EC3, Bobby Roode and Bobby Lashley will be the focal point of the program, with Kurt Angle and MVP's group being strong uppercard and midcard guys. The knockouts should get better with Kong, and the X Division and Tag Division is definitely A+. TNA will need a couple of months, but should be going in the right direction if they commit to the talent that they already have. And with that, David Hero has spoken.
Well, thank you, David Hero. Of course, Impact Wrestling on. You really liked it.
I did. I enjoyed the program. I enjoyed the product.
How does it make you feel?
It feels earthy.
Did you get a chance to check out Wrestle Kingdom 9 from New Japan Pro Wrestling?
I have not checked it. It is one of the things I want to do. I know that our good friend Jim Ross called the show.
Along with Matt Stryker?
Yes.
Stryker.
Sure. I'm not going to punch her for you.
I mean, you don't even know her.
So why am I going to hit her?
I've heard some great things about that event. I've not yet had a chance to fit that 4 hours into my schedule, unfortunately.
Oh, it's a 4-hour pay-per-view?
It's a 4-hour pay-per-view.
I'm not watching it.
Of course, part of Jeff Jarrett's Global Force Wrestling, but a good
Is it
start
in subtitles? Because it was in Japan.
I don't believe Jim Ross speaks Japanese.
No, but for everybody else.
Well, they weren't listening to the live commentary.
Oh, okay. Don't get hot.
They were there at the Tokyo
Pump the
Dome.
brakes.
Thank you. But big announcement, David Hero. Bit of a change here coming to PWR.
Yes.
And, PWR has been on the air bringing you weekly shows for over 17 years, since 1998. Does that add up?
It's a minor child still.
We have done so. We have done so.
You gotta think about that kind of stuff.
Why do you think about that kind of stuff? We have done so in an effort to inform you and entertain you, all while being real and ourselves, which are true professional wrestling fans. Well, when PWR debuted on cable, wrestling was at its peak, folks. We were at the height of the Monday Night Wars. WWE, WCW, and even ECW were presenting pay-per-views on a monthly basis, and the sport was a mainstream phenomenon. It was a great time to be in the business of talking pro wrestling weekly. Now, let's fast forward to today. ECW and WCW are gone. TNA just moved networks. WWE launched its own network, making pay-per-view events almost irrelevant. And there is no doubt that wrestling is not as hot as it once was. With these changes to the business that we love and cover comes changes for PWR as well. And this show will be our last weekly edition of PWR PrimeTime. Going forward, David.
You better explain that.
I'm going to try to.
Please.
Going forward, PWR will continue to air right here on My 24 Milwaukee with a huge special episode once a month. While we realize that this may not be the best news for some of our viewers, we here at PWR know that it is the right thing to do for our business and for us personally at this time. Not only has the business changed, but our lives have too over the years. I mean, minors and such.
Minors?
We do want to remind you that you'll still be able to get your weekly fix of PWR live on Monday nights following WWE Raw at our website, pwrshow.com. And David and myself will now be appearing regularly on that show as well, which means you have to start watching Raw.
Gotcha. But we're also on Twitter. I mean, come on. You can always find us there.
You're on Twitter. And while we may only be coming to you on TV monthly, we are pleased to announce that PWR Primetime, when we do come to you once a month, is expanding to 1 full hour.
Whoa.
60 minutes, David here. Can you go 60 minutes?
Of course I can. But
all the way to the finish?
Can you keep up?
No, of course I can.
60 minutes is a long time, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Well, yes, indeed. When we come to you now on WWE pay-per-view weekends, first of which will be the Royal Rumble weekend, we will present a full 60-minute show with new features and special guests each month. As a matter of fact, we've got this month's guest lined up already. We'll be announcing that on our social media channels in just a few days. And we know that most of us don't like change, but believe me when I say that this change is a good one, and you will see that in our product going forward.
What's that with you and those guys from Chicago always talking about change?
Do you mean the President of the United States of America,
Or
POTUS?
just guys from Chicago?
We would like to say thank you for your continued support, and be sure to follow us online at pwrshow.com, where we will continue to bring you breaking news updates, PWR Live, and Primetime, the huge Primetime monthly 1-hour specials going forward.
1 hour. Amazing.
All right, folks. Well, that is this week's episode of the Pro Wrestling Report for that one.
This one.
And Cal Hero, by the way. He does a
Cal.
great job at Diamond of the Ring.
You know what? He knows.
Maybe we can expand his role for the 1-hour specials.
By all means. Why not?
Less for you to do.
Exactly.
This is Damian Nelson saying thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again on Royal Rumble weekend, Saturday, the 24th of January, for the big 1-hour special of the Pro Wrestling Report.